Agatin missing chitab Kalenjin atinye kamang'unet ne ole ichamegei noi tugul negere ketesiet nebo Kass TV. Betut age noton nebo koaeng kasit tarik 10 arawetab 12 kenyitab 2024 kasarta neitun tetutiet noton nebo Kass Mashinani kokimoche kegushi ngong logoiwek che tesetai kobitu en komoswek che terter chebo emet. Itagat missing kigurenon Caroline Keplagat. Ngetounen county nebo Nakuru ole kakecher neranik en emoni koegu chemi tai eng boriet notok kitokchini chorset ak nametab asoya en emoni. En igorta nekibwat betut nekitokchini boriet nebo nametab asoya anan International Anti-Corruption Day ko kotuiyogei kibagengeisiek che terter en county nebo Nakuru akocher neranik komong'ugei akotoret en borionoto nebo kekirinda nametab asoya ak chorsetab malik en emoni. Genyorun sirininyo Sylvester Rono ak report kong'eten Nakuru.
Katuyogei kibagengeisiek cheboto nebo Amwik, Transparency International, kanisosiek ak kibagengeisiek alak chebo imandab kipkosobe en county nebo Nakuru akocher neranik komong'ei akoboisien kimnotet ak naet ak kiy age tugul netindoi icheget koker kole kakikirinda yautik chebo nametab asoya.
There is a growing amount of Kenyans that feel that we are not headed in the right direction. But at the same time, there are gains that we are making towards addressing corruption. I believe it's only earlier this year that we saw even the youth standing up and saying that we need to address this corruption, and the youth are ready to stand up. So we are capitalizing on that strength, that indeed there is a movement that is there, and we are there as partners to be able to work together to address corruption.
No. Just how much corruption is taking place. For example, if we are talking about Nakuru County, how much money is going to the health sector in Nakuru County from national government, from the county pockets itself, the docket, from donors, from user fees, and maybe from borrowings. And then when that money is sent to the county, how much is actually used for development and how much is used for recurrent fees, so recurrent expenditure. So you see, we need to educate ourselves as media when we are reporting about health.
Kosubkei ak Lona Sembele nebo kibagengeitab Amwik koboto Brian Kiberwa nebo kibagengeitab Transparency International ko chorset nekakotestai en sectors che terter ko noton nekakowekta let bandab tai en emet.
So some of them have seen this corruption persisting for decades, and there is that growing wariness amongst them as well as apathy, and that is why we are here to also build their capacities, because information is power, and once we have this information and once we have empowered them, we can be able to partner together and work together, because we agree that no man is an island, we have to partner. So that is why we are here today in Nakuru, to be able to commemorate this day with them, have conversations with them, and see how we can build the future towards improving health service delivery in Nakuru through addressing corruption.
Ngalalet nekakimit kibagenge nebo kanisosiek nebo NCCK mornet nebo South Rift.
The health sector has collapsed, and this has been brought about because of the corruption. We are telling everybody to stand, not only the youth that we are with, but church together with the community, to make sure that we have a Kenya that we want.
So inawezekana, that's why tumewaita ili tuweze kushirikiana pamoja. Another thing is that we as a church tumeonelea kuwa tuweze kupiga kelele, kwa sababu normally kanisa huwa haipigi kelele, huwa tunafanya vitu kwa utaratibu. For example, very many times tumeengage these leaders in closed door meetings tukiwaambia kuwa hii kitu sio mzuri, tufanye hivi. Lakini ukiona watu wanapiga kelele saa hii hata mpaka pesa zinarudi, tumechoka.
En komosto nebo kibagengeit nebo Center for Multi-Party Democracy kosome biikab emet komatakokochi nabas anan kokochi boroindo biik chekikemwaitaen nametab asoya en kasarta neyoe lewenisiet.
None other than the former president who said that every day we lose 2 billion. Just recently, the Kenya Association of Manufacturers upgraded that figure to around 3 billion. So think of it in terms of service delivery. If we lose 2 billion a day in 1 year, it means we are losing 2 multiplied by 364. That translates to 728 billion. The transfer to county by treasury this year, according to the Division of the Revenue Act, is 380 billion. So it means 728 billion is almost twice as much as has been transferred to counties. So in other words, corruption robs us.
Kongeten county nebo Nakuru, logoiwekab emet chebo Kass, kainenyun ko Sylvester Rono.
Kong'eten Nakuru, chitab Kalenjin kibendi nguni agoi county nebo Uasin Gishu ole tesetai tetutik chebo chopchinetabgei nebo labatetab kenyini nebo Ng'eltarit cross country nekiyoe en komosta nebo Kapsinende primary nemito constituency nebo Ainabkoi county nebo Uasin Gishu. Tetat keyai labatanoto tarik 12 nebo arawani nebo 12 ole nguni mi komosata sirindenyo Isaac Kogei kong'oloni ak patron nebo labatanoto noton ko coach Richard Meto. Ak nguni moche akochi boroindo komwawech tetutik oleu kotinygei ak labatet niton nekiyoe tarik 12 nebo arawani.
Kongoi mising Karo Kiplagat eng studio noton nebo Kass TV kole kemwa kemi eng county noton nebo Uasin Gishu sukulitab primary noton nebo Kapsinende nemite eng Ainabkoi county noton nebo Uasin Gishu ole tesetai tetutik chotok chebo chopchinetabgei nebo labatet noton nebo Ng'eleltarit cross country nekiyoe eng tarikit 12 arawetab 12 kenyini noton ko betutab holiday nemite tai betutab kwang'wan kasi ako yeigere kotesetai tetutik chotok chebo kiro kele kakichop kiwanjet noton nekilabate eng betunotok. Kimi koboto local organizing committee anan timit tugul noton netonondochin ng'alekab tetutik ak chobetab kiwanjet noton nebo Ng'eleltarit noton nebo Kapsinende noton nekiyoe labatet noton nebo Ng'eleltarit cross country. Kimite koboto patron ak timit tugul neigere kabangangei eng yo ak uniform ako chobotin icheket asikobit kotach rwoik eng edition akilecho edition nebo mut notok nebo Ng'eleltarit. Kimi boto patron nendet ko Richard Meto ak timit tugul neton neigere mitei tainyo asikobit koarorwech kityo eng nwogindo kotinygei ak labatetab edition nebo mut noton nebo Ng'eleltarit cross country. Une chobutik korok koait ano ng'alekab panganutik kwok chebo labatet ako tos kibaorionchi rwoik ata eng kenyini?
Ngane kekuno Richard Meto eng kenyini keribe kitarajani rwoik 1,100 safarini kabisa lagok kong'ete kenyisiek 5 akoi 15 atya ketinye chebo boisiek chepyosok ketaune kenyisiek 40 ko boisiek ketaune 45 kobendi tugul akoi 80 yuli chakaimuch koit.
Nito ko edition nebo mut anan komasta kasarta nebo mut keyai labatet noton nebo Ng'eleltarit cross country. Man tos imwa nee kotinygei ak editions chotok chikosirto 4 ak nekitarajani keyai eng betutab kwang'wan kasi tos kamang'uneng'wong ko nee ku tetikab labatani?
Kamang'unenyo eng kenyini agere ale kilonye kokelany kabisa kicheng'onu gold akichek agere ale maya kenyini kabisa amu ikere kitindoi nguno kokonfaman biik chechang chemutu lagok kong'ete Baringo, Nandi, Chepsaitaulin kokimi ak Uasin Gishu tugul ak Keiyo komutu lagok. Haya nerube kora ko kenyini ketindoi clinic bwone Sabatia nyokopimoni konyek eng yu kong'ete mutai. Haya ak ketindoi kwang'wan kasi betunoto paresit mi race course mi living room nyokopimonishe kora. So ikere ile kenyini agere ane kenyini ale ami tai ra kenyini.
Kikimi edition chotok chikosirto nekit aeng ako kikiro mising ko chong'indab rwoik chekikemuch komong'ei ko lagokab sukul anan lagok chotok chemi camps. Ne nekicherin asikobit iro ile ketoret lagochu kanaptae ng'alekab labatet amu ngiro mising ko editions chotok ko kimakomi biik chotok chekako anan chokilen elite chikomach koekitu chechang mising. Kifokasan mising ng'alekab cross country akitokchigei lagok chemengechen chotok che tesetai komong'u talentaishek kwak. Ne nekitokchin asikobit iro ile kitau labatani akotokchigei mising otaune lagok chotok chemengech?
Kiker kele amu ikere nguno ngeker sukul kochang lagok chemi gaa. Agere ale ngotatau labatani kotoreti biik chechang, kotoreti lagochu simabendi koyote tuguk chemakororon. Agere ale ngatau kotoreti lagok kabisa. Mungire nguno lagok sai koribe lagok kabisa labatani. Labatani nguno mami lakwet nemengen. So ikere lagok ile sai ko busy ng'alekab labatani. Ma cho kilen kibendi video ne cho center ne mami.
Mi rwoik chenootin mising chebunu komasit ak boin nekit kele Kipkorkot anan ko Inaberi chenootin mising chekorwochi emoni komon tos mi alake chekokomwa kole nyokorwoi eng Labatani kikiro eng kenyit nekosirtoi Kamworor ak alak eng rwoik chekibwa nyokokochi motivation lagok chemengechen tos mi alake eng rwoik chotok chokomwa kole bwone eng kenyini nyokokochin kora motisha anan cherset lagok chemengechen.
Chang kabisa amu angot nguno resin ambassador nenyot ko Dr. Faith Kipyegon tare kotol na 1500 wane na ambassador nebo this race so ina tangno ko motivate na kabisa ngalechu ulna ngai ngale kap Labatani kabisa ile mnyorit kabisa ko kunyo na kotakne elut kunyo ne elut ngot kam ngoror ko bwone ngot kinyamal o kimchachi chang ko bwone oi
Rwaichu itinye categories ata eng Labatani be ngelel tarit cross country ako makantos eng kila category ko makantos koitetchine amu ngin lagok chemite kanguna kongen kole kibendi kenyoru zawadi kakirwai.
Kategory chon ndei 12 chotok komi kind zawadi ako mi kitu kidogo mamwa eng mi kidogo kidogo lagochuto kora nemoi ko ngoendi pale kenenyinet boisiek kou notok kora mi zawadi chebo boisiek kuno biik cho ame kina kaikai ko nguno lagok chebo 15 ak boisiek ak chepyosok konyoru kina kaikai ako nyoru kora in kind kora.
Kosirtagei ano biik eng Labatani ako tos tokotesetai siretab gei amu kingen kele konget kotuch betut agenge asikobit keyai Labatani ngelel tarit. Tos mi siretab gei ole kisiregei ako komi chito netomo kosirgei tos tokomi boroindo nebo kosirgei?
Mi boroindo kabisa kisire betunoto tarik 12 asubuhi kemushini choto asubuhi kisire. Oi.
So tindoi boroindo chito.
Tindoi boroindo chito. Oi.
So tikeweke ngenyoru timit nagere komite eng tayu nebo ngecheret angen ale chama noto nebo tetetab labatet mangen tos kosubkei ak asista nelale eng koroningwong ako pete kasome iregu chepkulet asikobit kotok toket imwawech kaineng'ung ak chemwawech part ne pleni eng Labatani be ngelel tarit cross country.
Ngainek chu kekuron Amak Chirchir ai manager nebo resin ko mpango nekokepangan akere ale komi barak kabisa ako kora ko kiborye ng'alek chebo gender based violence kimoche keker kele ngomi lagok kotepche nekararan ko ngomi kaa kora boisiek komamoche ng'alek chebo kikomong ng'alek chebo kerichek ko kerichechu ko kikobar ng'alekab labatet inyoru lagok nguno ndekatatepsot eng gaa inyoru komi center ko director ko kiker kole kaikai ketou Labatani sikesich lagochu kobwa nyokorwa eng kiwanja ako matokobendat eng sentaishechu ko Labatani ko nebo mut ko ngobo mut akere kenyini ale mi barak zaidi mau kenyit konye amu akere nambaishek chemite saisi ko chang kabisa ako kobirwech biik simoshek kabisa kole kimoche keng'et nyekerwae komi boisiek kora chekobir kobwa nyokorwai kora kepimani konye kora ako mi kora registration chebo SHA koker kele sikesich nafasit nebo Labatani biik chemaite town amu shidaishek saa zingine inyoru transport kokere chito kora kopangan lainda eng town kotekani muda keker kele keyai kobwa Labatani sityo konyor akichek biikab SHA koregistan biikab area nenyo chematinye nafas koba town amu biik chechang nguno kotebe kole ara kibeti ne town kibendi ano ko biik chechang komengen ole mi tokorube biik chekibo zamani chekibo NHIF ko kikowalak nguni ngele boisiek SHA kole ko SHA ko ne ko ngele ko SHA ko nekinyo kokawal ng'alekab NHIF.
Kongoi mising ngenyoru kebeberta nebo kwonyik ak anyor representative nebo timit age asikobit kebe county noto nebo Kericho amu agere Robert Shele ko chobot akine asikobit koibwech ng'alalet noto nebo agenge kainet eng nwogindo ak nafasi nung'et eng Labatani.
Okay. Tutumie Kiswahili. Kwa majina naitwa Dr. Caroline Sawe. Mimi ni treasurer na secretary wa hii race. Na ni race ambayo tumepanga kwa muda. Tunataka kuona mambo ya afya, tunataka kuweka mambo ya afya. Tumeweka watoto ili waanze kujua umuhimu wa kufanya mazoezi wakiwa wadogo, wakiendelea kufanya mazoezi hata wakiwa wakubwa, wakiwa wazee. na pia tukatumia fursa hii kuongea mambo ya gender based violence. Tunajua madada zetu, mama zetu, aunti zetu, our grandmothers wanasafa sana kwa mambo ya gender based violence. So tutatumia hii race ku create awareness na pia tuambie our brothers, our husbands, our fathers to also take care of the gender na kupenda kina mama na wasichana. Asante.
Kongoi. Ak nebo let Karo Kiplagat kenyoru agenge eng representative nebo timit ni age ko magantos kainengung ko ngo ak boroindongung anan boisiengung eng labataneb ngelel tarit yekichopchingei kerwai eng tarik 12 kone.
Kongoi mising, kainaikchuk kekurenon Nixon Kiprotich Kimaru. Ane ko ki a former athlete ko a member nebo timit nito committee chekiorganiseni labatanito bo ngelel tarit. Ako kisome kele ngobwa biik eng chongindo kong'ete tarik 11 eng ng'alekab pimanetab borwekwai ako it is a free entry. Ngobwa kwa wingi kong'ete betutab mutai, ngobwa biik kwa wingi ndio tufurahie tukiendeleza nchi yetu mbele. Asante sana.
Kongoi mising Karo Kiplagat kosubkei ak boroindo ko chotok kityo ko representative chotok chebo tetik anan local organizing committee chebo labatet noto nebo ngelel tarit cross country nekitetei keyai eng betutab kwang'wan kasi notok ko tarik 12 arawani. Notok ko akase kele kaketeswech 2 minutes. Meto magan tos tetinye ng'olyo noto neketoj nemeche imwochi biikab emet. Kobate akere madam nakere kochobot kiloboti akine sikomwawech kainenyi atya mwawech kityo eng betuni ko yutokchinigei labatet noto nebo ngelel tarit cross country. Cherset eng kwonyik anan lagok chotok che tibik ko ne ako kakikas kele kiboisie labatani kora kikoito cherset katigonet eng biik korib anan kokoito kanetisiet anan kokoito ripset eng kwonyik. Ngalekab GBV ko kikere kokotestai kokeus kwonyik mising ak rwoik kora kokobun kaimutik chechang mising cheboto barisiet, nyerset ak alak kokobu ngalekab usisiet. Kainengung ko ngo ako kiloboti labatet ngoro ako tos iloboti eng kenyini nebo ngelel tarit?
Okay, kainaikchuk kekurono Sally Chebiego, ai labatindetab marathon ako ami yu amu coach Meto ne kandoindenyo eng kambinyo ako kimi amu sikesapoten labatani. Kakibwa singotyo keker kele the organizing committee chebo labatani ko kakwai kit nebo oret nemie amu ngiro ko kataune lagok chemengechen kouyo kakimwawok ko nito ko kanetisiet amu kikere kele labatet ko lazima kotaunegei lagok chemengechen asikobit koechekitu ako kimekitu eng oret nekararan nebo labatet. Ako kora ko kanetisiet nebo kokwet ako kimasit age ako region nebo Rift Valley in general kekochi lagok oret nemie nebo motisha asikobit lagochu kobun akosub oret nemie nebo labatet. Amu lekitaunegei biik kotugul ko lazima ketaune lagok chemengechen keneti kelechini oret koni akot koek biik chekendochi emoni bo Kenya eng labatet. So kokakipka keker kele labatani kowetitoi ano ako une. Nga melen betutab tai ra kikebwone akesubi ako notok kimeche kesub kot koek a very big event in future nekikere kele tos akot keinvitan biik chebo bitonin asikobwa konyokohusishankei akichek eng labatani.
Tos teiloboti amu kainanoto ko naat mising. Tos teimi kiwanja anan kiitu karik?
Okay, tomo atu karik tamite kabisa ako takemi kechopchinigei labatet nemite taun nebo 2025. So tai active athlete ako takekere kele kimeche keborchi lagochu oret kabisa. Singetui karikab labatet kengen kele mi lagok cheisubwech eng oret nemie.
Tos ichopchinigei labatet ngoro eng tai?
Okay, kenyini ko koketar chebo kenyini, kimi keprepareni sai mazoezi chechoket asikobit kemwowech kelechech ano ole ketokchinigei. Kingen kele kenyino komi World Championship eng olin bo Tokyo, ko notok nakere ale kimeche keborchigei akichek.
Meto ng'olyo nebo let angen ale tinye ng'olyo noto nebo nekituge. Asikiwekte soet.
Netai ameche awekchi kongoi Kass akichek, awekchi kongoi Kass amu icheket chekepromoten eng labatani. nebo oeng ameche awekyi chairman nebo region Abraham Mutai amu support na labatani akine ak par nebo korir nebo youth chairman nebo youth che sukumana kabisa eng labatani kule naai kabisa so anarudisha asante kabisa amu che totorta kabisa. Oi.
Chief guest eng betunotok mwana tos to nebo kandet kongo.
Kotakekere deputy governor. Oi.
Kongoi missing studio noto nebo Kass TV chotok ko officials tetik chairman koboto patron ak timit tugul noto nebo tetetab labatet noto nebo Ngelel Tarit cross country ne kyoe eng sukulitab primary noto nebo Kipsinende nemite eng Ainabkoi county noto nebo Uasin Gishu kakimwaun rwoik chotok che kimongo nyokorwai missing ko lagok chotok chemengechen kosire 1,000 ak biik chotok chekakoekitu kora komitei ako mi kora elite athletes chotok che nyokorwae eng betunotok kakimwaun Eliud Kipchoge koboto Faith Kipyegon anan Daktari Faith Kipyegon ko part anan agenge eng biik chotok che mi kainet barak eng labatet noto nebo Ngelel Tarit anan tononchin inendet ku ambassador nebo labatet noto nebo Ngelel Tarit cross country nekyoe eng kwangwan kasi noto ko holiday noto nebo Jamhuri ko biik tugul ketoche kobwa komasta noto nebo Ngelel Tarit asikobit nyokorwai labatet noto nebo Ngelel Tarit cross country ko yekere kora ko timit noto ne tesetai ak chobet nebo kiwanjet komite eng komasta noto nebo Ngelel Tarit kora ako chobotin asikobit koro kole kachobokis kit age tugul nebo keyai labatet noto nebo cross country konoto karo Kiplagat ngawekun soet konyo Nairobi ye agere Robert Siele kochobokse kora eng komasta nebo Kericho asikobit koibwech logoiwek chotok chebo Kass Mashinani kobun komasata kong'ete ane Isaac Ogei nakata Bernard Kemei awekwok soet konyo Nairobi.
Kongoi missing sirindenyo Isaac Ogei kong'ete county noto nebo Uasin Gishu. Ketesetai nguni chitab Kalenjin ko biikab emoni 4,000,000 che tomo kowekta chepkondok anan besenwek choton chekisom legut noton nebo Hustler Fund. Chuto ko kosubkei ak President William Ruto nekong'oloni eng tuyetab Town Hall eng komosta nebo KICC eng yuton bo taonitab Nairobi. Kamach Ruto bichoto koker kole kamuch kowekta besenwek choto asiketeshi kora akiche chepkondok chesome legut noton nebo Hustler Fund.
Of the 1.5 million people who today will have their credit limits enhanced, the highest being from 50,000 to 150,000, there is another 4 million borrowers who must be listening to me this evening. These 4 million borrowers have maybe an outstanding amount, maybe they have not paid on time, maybe they have exceeded, instead of 14 days, they are at 45 days, or they are at 30 days. If they pay, these 4 million borrowers, if they pay their outstanding, the window for them to be moved to the bridge loan, which then doubles or triples their credit limit, exists. So the 4 million people out there who have not paid their money, you have a chance. We are going to assess you once you pay, we are going to assess you for 2 months, and then we will graduate you to the bridge loan. We want many to come on board. As you are aware, the whole Hustler Fund intervention was to remove the penalization, the blacklisting, the condemnation of people, but to give them a chance to improve on their credit rating. And that is what we intend to achieve.
Eng kasarta ne tetat koit let betusiek 16 che notin go 16 days of activism kotesetai kibagengeisiek cheterter en county nebo Kericho koboto kibagengeisiek cheborchinigei imandab biik ak kambaget nebo kalyet netokchini kekimit boriet nekitokchini kanyaliletab konyek ak biikab emoni. Mitei sirindenyo nebo logoiwek en county nebo Kericho Robert Siele ak kibagengeisiek choton ak nguni kenyoru inendet kong'eten county nebo Kericho.
TV en nguni kamiten ak alak en kibagengeisiek cheborchingei imandab biik en county nebo Kericho en kasarta netetat koit let betusiek chebo anan betusiek 16 chekibwote akobo kanyalet ak kirindaet nebo kanyaletab kwonyik en county nebo Kericho. Ole nguni kemiten ak alak en biik cheborchingei imandab biik ole amache sikobit kororwech kole tos bo kamanut netiana igorto nebo kawangunetab betutab raini ako tos ne kit netokyingei icheket. Ni karibu kwenye kituo cha Kass TV, tuanzie tuelezee unaitwa nani na labda umuhimu wa maandamano ambao umeandaa siku ya leo.
Kwa majina naitwa Salim Ochango Barnabas. Mimi ni mwanaharakati wa jamii katika kaunti ya Kericho. Umuhimu wa siku hii ni kwamba tunajaribu kupinga vita dhidi ya wanawake na pia wanaume. Katika jamii yetu tunaona kwa wakati hii kumekuwa na uwaji wingi sana wa wanawake. Kwa hivyo tumekuja kuelimisha jamii, kuambia kuwa ni vibaya sana kuwa wanawake wetu, na pia kuambia wanawake tafadhalini pia nanyi msidhulumu wanaume wenu. Kwani jamii ambayo ina vita tunapata kuwa watoto wengi wanaenda kuwa watoto ambao watazurula mtaani, kwa vile jamii nyingi utapata wakati vita vinapotokea watoto wengi utoweka katika zile jamii. Kwa hivyo umuhimu wetu leo kama wananchi wa Kericho na jamii nzima ya Kericho, tunahimiza kabisa wale ambao wanajaribu tatua cases za gender based pale vijijini Kipkaa, tafadhalini tuache kesi hizi ziripotiwe katika vituo vya polisi, hivi kesi hizo ziende kotini na wale ambao wamedhulumiwa wapate haki katika jamii. Kwa hivyo tafadhalini wananchi wenzangu wa Kericho, tuepuke kueneza gender based violence, kwani hii inaletea pia shida serikali yetu, kwani bajeti nyingi inaenda kwa matibabu ya wale ambao wamedhulumiwa.
Siku 16 ambao mlikuwa mnashirikiana kuendeleza vita dhidi ya unyanyasaji ya kike ama watoto, je, kumekuwa na manufaa yoyote kwa siku hizo 16?
Yes, kumekuwa na manufaa kwa vile pia kulikuwa na about 43 male champion wametrainiwa na watarudi kule mashinani kuhamasisha jamii. Pia kuna vituo kadhaa ambavyo vimefanya maneno mazuri, kama vile ofisi ya Women Rep wa Kericho ilikuwa na hamasisho, pia wizara yetu ya matibabu ilikuwa na hamasisho, pia machifu walihamasishwa. Kwa hivyo kama hizi 16 days tumefanya harakati katika jamii, tumeenda pale mashinani, watu wameelimishwa. Kwa hivyo tunaamini kuwa mwaka mmoja ambao tunaenda mbele, itakapofika another 16 day of activism, tutapata kuwa tumepata manufaa mengi sana.
Asante. So ama itaone nyaka net kiguren ngo ako en betutab raini ko tos ne kinu kotesenda akobo kamanut netiana.
Kainenyun kekurenon Edna Mayo, atelelchini ng'alekab kanyeratet anan boriosiek chebo gaa en Kericho County Department nebo sipitali. Kokimiten raini kemwochini biik en community kelenjini kimoche ketar ng'alekab kanyeratet chebo lagok chemengechen akot chebo kenyisiek 3 akoba ng'weny anan ko chebo kenyisiek 17 akoba ng'weny. Mokimoche lagokyok kitun chemengechen en chemi kenyisiek 17 akobwa ng'weny. Kimoche lagokyok koba sugul, mokimoche kebeten sobet nebo sugul amun kanyigisegitun icheget kotom koit kenyisiek chechoton. Kimoche kemwochin biikab Kericho kelenjin kimoche keripoten ng'alechuton, keker kele lakwet neming'in nebo kenyisiek 17 akobwa ng'weny nekanyor kanyeratet age tugul, either kakilasimishanji keborien, koyoche kemwa, keba sipitali, keba kapolis, kemwochi chief anan kemwochi nyumba kumi. Matos isigei bikyok, ongemwa komong tuguchu sikobek en Kericho County.
En sipitali kot mara cases ata chemanyoru en kasarta netiana ako une cases cheu chonyoru en kasarta netiana?
Okay, cases cheu chebo lagok kikere lagok chechang chemengechen en kenyisiek 17 akobwa ng'weny konyoru mootinwek, kikere alak chechang kora kituni chebwone sipitali kosome toretet nebo konyoru antenatal clinic, kekere kele mengechen icheget biik chekonyolu koba sugul. Kemwoe kele nyolu kemwochin nyumba kumi ng'alechuto sikeripoten en Children's Department sikonyor bichu support nenyolunot en Kericho County. So chang cases chuto chekekere chekou kakemwa en tai kele sire 1,000 akoba barak, koyoche kemwa kele ongetar boriosiek en korikyok. Kongoi missing.
Taunet nenyakanet kikuren ngo ak iarorwech mangan betutab raini ko tos ne boisionik chekotinye en reyu?
Okay. Kainenyun ko Rose Rotich, abunu ofisitab Women Rep nebo Kericho County, atononjini action against gender based violence en ofisinyon. Ako kou yan kakemwa kiboiboenjini ra betutab haki anan imandab biik en emet kibwoti kora agobo gender based violence ne agenge county nebo Kericho en counties che mi barak mising kanyaliletab kwonyik, murenik, tibik ak lagok. Ko as an office ko en boisionik chok chebo atkai tugul kenyoru kora kochang mising biik chebwonjech kotinye kanyalilosiek choton ak usisiet ako mising ko sexual. Ako ngemwoe kounon ketinye akot nguni lakwet agenge we rescued, kikimutu ketoret asikobit konyor imandanyin amun kikinyalile mising en komostab olimbo Cheborge. So amoche kityok asom biikab kaa, biikyok, bitenyon nebo Kipsigis kesistosi, kisome mising kele ngotingen chi nekinyalile anan ibune GBV kesome kele imangu ak ing'alal asikobit ketoretin. Nebo oeng kemwochini kora law enforcement agencies kesome kele yon konyoru cases cheu chuton osib mising asikobit onai oloiptoi statement ak ketoret ak ministry nenyon nebo health asikobit komong statement komie asikimut bichoton ak keipchi hatua nenyolu. Kongoi mising.
Let kora komongen ale taunen kainet kekuren ng'o ako ne chersen koit neranik en nguni.
En kainetu kekurenan Sarah Chepkirui, a human rights defender from Kericho County. Ko betutab raini kokikesunen 16 days of activism against GBV. Ko ngele activism against GBV ko wanawake kuchapwa na pia wanaume kuchapwa. So tungependa kuhimiza community, hata pale nyumbani akina baba mkichapwa msiogope, mtoke na mseme, akina mama pia mtoke na mseme. Maneno ya kumaliza kipkaa ndio tunakataa kwa sababu inanyima ule mwanamke ama mwanaume haki yake ya kupeleka huyu perpetrator katika justice. So tungependa kuhamasisha community tutoke nje na to speak against GBV. Thank you.
So choton ko alak en kandoik chebo chepyosok ak mising ko biik cheborchingei imandab biik en county nebo Kericho ng'ololjin ketesioni kasarta netesetai ak bandab oret anan kambaget en county noton kocheng'e imanda nebo lakwet ne chepto ak chepyosok ak kanyaliletab oret agetugul anan nebo or agetugul en chi agetugul en county noton nebo Kericho. So ng'eten county nebo Kericho tuje noton nebo Kass Mashinani, kainenyun ko Robert Sile, testai iker Kass TV amun kimnotet naet.
Kongoi mising sirindenyo Robert Siele kong'ete county nebo Kericho. Eng logoiwek alak ko kakemach mediation committees choton chebo National Assembly ak Senate kocheng walutiet nebo chokchinet kotinygei ak bilit nebo County Governments Additional Allocation Bill 2024 nekoker counties chebo emoni kobet chepkondok bilion 15 kenuch somok. Chuto ko kosubkei ak Cabinet Secretary noton nebo kabatisiet Dr. Andrew Karanja nekong'ololen county nebo Mombasa eng tuyet nebo kibagenge nebo National County Agriculture World Bank Funded Projects nekamwa kole imuch kobet emoni projects cheterter cheikochine toretet World Bank koite chepkondok bilion 2.2. Kamwa Karanja nakates inendet kole yemacheng walutiet eng chokchinet korik choton chebo National Assembly ak Senate koimuch kobet emoni projects cheterter cheikochine toretet World Bank.
What they have been trying to do. They had a mission in September and they came out with the findings on areas where we can improve, on areas where we need to work better. But overall, the programs have been performing very well. Thank you. The stalemate is definitely affecting the program, and going forward, as it has been indicated, is that if we don't get a solution quickly enough, that money might be cancelled, and we don't want to go that route. So that's why the Excellencies, the governors are insisting that the committees, the National Assembly and Senate, which are negotiating, and they should come out clearly on and resolve the matter so that we don't lose that money. So that is our take, that it should be resolved quickly as possible.
Ask the National Assembly, the mediation committee that is handling funds that have been held to hasten the process, because as a sector of agriculture, we risk losing 2.2 billion shillings, which has been held. And that will definitely affect all the programs in our counties and in the whole country. So I just want to ask the mediation committee to move with speed to resolve the issues that are outstanding so that those funds can then be released to come, so that the World Bank does not start the process of cancellation of the funds that are supposed to come to the counties. Otherwise, that will be very, very dangerous. Otherwise,
hasa wale ambao ni bunge la seneti na bunge letu la kitaifa ambao kwa wakati huu wako katika majadiliano, ni vizuri watambue kwamba fedha zote ambazo zimetoka kwa Benki ya Dunia ni mikopo, na mikopo ina taratibu na sheria zake. Ile mikopo ikiendelea kucheleweshwa, basi sisi kama taifa tuendelea kulipa zaidi. Mwishowe hata Benki la Dunia linaweza kuziondoa zile pesa na kuelekeza mahali pengine. Kwa hivyo tungetaka wanapoketi pale katika uwiano na katika mazungumzo yale ambao wanaendelea, wapate maridhiano na kukubaliana kwamba taifa ni kuu kuliko mtu binafsi. Na tungetaka kuwaomba kwa hisani kubwa kwamba wasije wakachanganya mambo. Waweze pale katika yale mambo ambao ndio tunaita conditional grants, ambazo zimekwama pale kwa sababu kuna program zingine ambazo kufikia miezi 6 kutoka sasa itakuwa imefungwa, na basi tutapoteza zile fedha. Kwa
Chitab Kalenjin go tesetai tuyet ne indochini Chief Justice Martha Koome ko tuyet noton nebo kila kenyit ne naat ko Annual Human Rights Summit 2024 ak nguni kimache ketokchingei komosata kekas kele tos ne netesetai.
In our constitution. This, amongst other landmark decisions, shows the High Court of Kenya is truly a guardian of our Bill of Rights. Ladies and gentlemen, despite the progressive and transformative human rights jurisprudence from the High Court and Superior Courts generally, we are still grappling with serious human rights challenges. I'm sure that each one of us has witnessed the significant human rights challenges that our country faces, including extrajudicial killings, abductions, increase in femicide and gender-based violence, what we are calling existential threats to our nationhood. There is suppression of peaceful assemblies, unaccountable use of power, poverty that is ravaging and ravaging so many of our families and communities, and socioeconomic inequalities. These are the realities of our nation. Some of these challenges are rooted in structural inequalities. They are also rooted in governance problems and changing society and global situations. Addressing these challenges remains crucial to the enjoyment of human rights and fundamental freedoms by millions of Kenyans. We are all told, and we were reminded by Professor Mutugi, that we are all children of God, created with a DNA of God in us. So even those who are experiencing this abject poverty are children of God. They are Kenyans. And we keep telling each other, no one should be left behind. Moreover, we must consider issues and challenges presented to promotion and protection of human rights in Kenya, including those with respect to technological advancements and also the changing geopolitical environment. While technological has created and opened new opportunities for people to interact, share resources, and shape societies for better, it has had its downside when it comes to promotion and protection of human rights in Kenya. Just like elsewhere in the world, technology in Kenya has provided a platform for human rights violations and abuses through cyberbullying, digital surveillance, online discrimination, and technologically based gender-based violence. More importantly, we must remain alive to the changing geopolitical realities and the increase of changes and competition as an implication on human rights and fundamental freedoms in Kenya. This has in effect ended, this has an effect to end and abet critical implementation of socio-economic rights and protection of civil and political rights that people should be enjoying, but we cannot enjoy because of these impediments. We are not insulated from the effect of this changing geopolitical context. Another emerging area of concern that I felt I should mention before this scourge of justices is the misuse of court processes by fraudulent people. Before, our experience was in land grabbing, but right now there is a new territory. If you have money in a bank account, which is resting there, especially for our retired people, there are unscrupulous individuals who collude with the bank officials and thereby exploit the court orders by seeking orders whereby they arrange somebody has money in the bank. Let's name Justice Eric Ogora has 100 million in the bank. Somebody sues him in Nyamira for services rendered and not paid for, fake return of service, expert judgment, execution through, what is it called? Garnishee proceedings. And before long, that 100,000 has left the bank and disappeared. So this matter has come before Judicial Service Commission. It is bank-ended fraud, but also judiciary-ended fraud. So we have to be very careful as judges, the orders that we issue in that regard. And I therefore urge the High Court to remain vigilant and set very clear precedents to deter such malpractices. I would also wish to say most of those fraudsters, lawyers, are masquerading. They do not even have a practicing certificate. So we have to be very careful on who we entertain in our courts. In conclusion, my brother and sister judges, our distinguished guests, the High Court has significantly contributed to the protection of human rights, good governance, and democracy in Kenya. Today, let us appreciate our principal judge for saying, we will touch the life of the Kenyan public. We will touch the life of the Kenyan family who have been going to court year in and out to seek letters of administration. Maybe this will significantly reduce the levels of poverty because some people cannot access assets of their deceased parents or grandparents that can help them. Thank you very much, PJ, for that very forward-looking strategy for the judiciary to touch the lives of ordinary Kenyans. So by upholding human rights, addressing socio-economic disparities, and defending democracy, the High Court continues to serve as a pillar of our democracy. While we still face many challenges in the promotion and protection of human rights in Kenya, because it's like some people have never read the Constitution. We will read it for them at the court users committees. We remain relentless in addressing these human rights abuses. The Constitution remains our true north. We must adapt to changing times, and we must be unwavering in our pursuit of justice, equality, and human rights. More importantly, we must endeavor to make human rights and fundamental freedoms a reality for all Kenyans across the country. I thank you all for your attention, and I wish you wonderful deliberations. And with your blessings, I declare the 2024 Human Rights Summit by the High Court officially opened. Thank you very much.
Ketesetai chitab Kolenjin ko kakolumda kibagengeit noton nebo Safaricom Foundation tatutiet nelel ne naat kowezesha Agri Eco Hub project ne tokchini noton kokanapta barnotik chesire 5,000 en county noton nebo Busia kobun tetutiet noton en sekta noton nebo mungaret kabatisiet en kwenutab alak kaboishe Safaricom Foundation chepkondok million 100 ak tiptem eng tetutiet noton tetat koib kasarta nebo kenyisiek 2.
So today we are launching the Wezesha Agri 3 program, and as a foundation, we are committing 120 million shillings to be able to do this program over the next 3 years. And what are the specific objectives of this program? Number one, we want that by March 2026, we shall facilitate the adoption of climate-smart agricultural practices among 2,500 youth-led farms. Okay? By 2026, facilitate the adoption of climate-smart agricultural practices among 2,500 youth-led farms. Objective number 2 is to ensure that by March 2026, we have at least 5,000 youth who have undergone training here. And out of this, 60% must be women and 40% male. Now, we can have a discussion as to why 60% women and 40% men. But from our experience, women tend to be early adopters of some of these techniques, and they're much more involved when it comes to farming. So I leave it there, but we can debate why 60% female and 40% male. So that is...
In this area, we're going to start to establish a demo farm. It's actually a smart demo farm. That's how we are calling it an Agri Eco Hub. We're going to demonstrate agricultural technologies and of course also do a bit of some ecopreneurship in the same area. So it's a one-stop shop. And that's why we're saying it's a center of excellence, that when youth come here, they'll be able to learn as they do. Yeah? So we're going to demonstrate technologies that youth can easily, take on and also transfer the same to their respective areas. Bottom line, of course, is to make sure that these technologies are viable and also profitable. Because if there's no money on the table, then the youth will not participate. So again, we have a responsibility in demonstrating those technologies that the youth can participate in. The technologies that we're going to demonstrate here will not require a lot of land, as a resource, but it really maximize on the production techniques for them to be able to earn more profits.
Kibendi nguni chitab Kalenjin County nebo Bomet ole kaibeti agenge sobet nebo kenyisiek choton chebo kwen eng kokwetab Chepngaina nemi taonitab Bomet kosubkei ak nekobel ine stimet kosubkei ak nemwat kele kolany ketit nekotinye stimet ak nguni amache kebe en oret nebo agenge en agenge kenyorun sirininyo Festus Rono.
silibwet kilomitait agenge kongeten taonit nebo Bomet ole kaikimutyo en karonetab rani kosubkei ak nekaibet agenge sobet muren agenge nebo kenyisiekab kwen kosubkei ak nyasutiet noton nebo stimet nekayomei inendet kolany ketit agenge en komositok kobaten kituiyo stimet ak branches anan ak temenik choton chebo ketotok akoibet inendet sobet nekakemut inendet kokoni konore muswek noton nebo Longisa. Kimiten en yu ak icheket chekoker kotesetai yautioniton kobaten kamakotinye ichek kamuket noton nebo usor chichoton kosubkei ak kimnotet nekim mising nebo lainishek chebo sitimet chemiten en komositok. So kimiten inguni ak alak choton amache imwa kaineng'ung kityo ak imwa tos ne nekatestai.
Majina yangu naitwa Franklin Arap Sang. Kanager akane kwapen ak accident ini ko kamakomi lekesorundoi chichoton amun kachoru ketit. So kit nekimwoe en Kenya Power
agere makinyoru komie tuget noton nebo sirindenyo Festus Rono kong'eten komosta nebo Chepng'aina en county nebo Bomet. Ak yoto chitab Kalenjin ko kitukchini tetutienyo nebo Kass Mashinani nekaitun eng betutab raini kong'eten yuto studio nebo Kass TV. Komatya aweksei ak logoiwek choton chebo emet. Kikurenon Caroline Kiplagat.